Nithyananda.
Hi guys, it's Priscilla.
And I'm Chandrika.
We are BFFs coming to you live from India.
And we both are from Los Angeles, but yet it took both of us coming to India to meet each other and find out that we absolutely adore each other.
Yes, it's actually kind of crazy. We live so close to each other back in the real world, or I shouldn't say real world, the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix.
But it took us until last year in India to meet, and we've just had so many breakthroughs in even our own friendship because we parallel each other so much.
Yes.
You know, we're such a reflection of one another, and so we've got to see like so much in one another.
We just had a conversation, and you know, it's not until you open up with the other person, something that might be uncomfortable, such as relationships and your patterns about what you tend to attract and how you tend to act. So specifically, if you're in an abusive relationship, this video might help you.
Yeah, we were just talking about how much our relationships have changed as we have changed, because in the context of our lives, in Hinduism and our spirituality under Swamiji, our guru, we learn how everything is oneness. The basic principle of Hinduism is oneness. That she is me, I am her, like everything is interconnected. Everything is a reflection of ourselves, our inner space. So with that in mind, when we're in a relationship, especially in a romantic relationship, it's a huge, giant, big fat mirror for us to see. Any
blind spots you might have, you can literally see it in another person. So you think, oh, I've conquered like anger, or I've conquered this or that and the other. But if you see it in any single person around you, whether it's your boyfriend, whether it's your friend, whether it's your mom, your dad, whatever, if you see it in someone else, life is showing you something that's inside of you that you're not looking at. So always take responsibility for something that's outside of you. Don't ever think, oh, you know, well, I'm not an angry person, and so this angry person that's yelling and all that, that's not me. No, inside, if you look deeper, you're attracting this into your life because of something inside of you, because of that oneness. It's all a beautiful way to look inside. You look outside, look inside. It's same. It's a mirror, like you said, a reflection.
And it's like often I think we are so much, especially in our society in the West, we're really taught a victim mentality of like, if this is happening to me, like, I don't know why, like I keep getting in abusive relationships. I don't know why all my boyfriends keep cheating on me. Like, so I hear this, especially, obviously we're both female bodies, so in our experience, I think we both heard so often in high school and college, like hearing females talk about how they hate, how they always like end up with assholes, or like they always end up in bad relationships. But hello, like there's something that, why is this happening? Why is this being shown to you?
Look within, exactly. Honestly, and it's the same thing with so many people I know, with relationships with even their bosses and their coworkers. They quit so many jobs, and then every time they get another job, they're attracting the same boss, the same type of boss, the same type of coworkers, they treat them the same way, and they're complaining about the same darn thing every job that they have. So with all relationships, I mean, just look within. What is it trying to teach you? Take responsibility for it and make the change, and then you'll attract only different people.
Exactly. So the first, like, the main thing we wanted to talk about with that context in mind, right, is like, now, okay, how do we start having better relationships? How do we solve these like common issues that so many of us struggle with, like rejection, like abuse, like relationships that are bringing us down, that actually are weighing on us more than raising us up? Like, what do we do with all these situations?
So we need to remember that we are not powerless. No matter what happens to you, make sure that you are in a powerful space. So for example, we were talking and we were saying how we always get into these situations where maybe a guy, you know, has a crush on us, and we feel terrible saying, well, we just don't feel the same. And so we end up leading them on, not because we're mean people, but because we feel bad saying, it's awkward saying, oh, I'm just sorry, I don't like you like that. And we don't want to like have that awkwardness, and so therefore we just kind of go along with it, to the point where, you know, if it gets too far, if it gets 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, suddenly the person's really attached to you, and you're like, God, I just never felt this way in the first place. If I just would have, you know, cut it off when I should have, like
Oh,
in
God.
the beginning.
Yeah.
This would have never happened. So it's that powerless state where we're afraid to conquer this fear of, this awkwardness that you're gonna have to, deal with if you tell the person, well, I just don't like you like that, but have that confidence to say, maybe I don't like you like that, but I like you as a friend, you're wonderful, and you know what, you are gonna find the right person at the right time. And to settle for, the wrong person who's not gonna treat you the right way, it's just gonna end in suffering. And so I'm only looking out for you, and I want the best for you, so keep the person also in a state of empowerment.
Yeah, exactly.
So that they can now attract the right person.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of like, having that awkward, oh, I'm sorry, this, that. No, empower them to find the right person.
It's like both sides, right? You just want to be raising each other up, regardless of whatever that external situation is. Nobody deserves to be with somebody that's not interested in them.
Right.
And nobody deserves to be with somebody that isn't going to raise them up. So however that plays out, whether it be, somebody's into you and you're not into them, whether it be you're actually both into each other but something is really toxic between you, you keep actually bringing out worse qualities in each other, this is one of the hardest, I'd say this is one of the hardest patterns to break for people. Is because when you feel so attached or in love with somebody and then to actually be able to clearly take a step back and say, wow, I see our context is totally wrong, like look what we're doing to each other, I love you, but this is obviously we're not capable of having a relationship like this right now. It takes big people to be able to do that.
Right.
But if you feel like something like that is coming up for you right now, and you're scared, one, to lose an attachment, or to feel like alone. I think a lot of people have this fear of being alone, especially when they've been in a long relationship, to cut that long relationship off, right? But to take a step back and say, actually out of the deepest love, not just for myself, but for the other person, maybe we need to change this dynamic right now.
Right.
We need to relook at what's happening in this situation. Both heal our inner space, because again, everything comes back to you.
Yes.
So when some turmoil is happening in your romantic relationship or otherwise, there's a huge turmoil that's happening in your inner space. So the only way to fix that is not through talking, fighting, all these things. Is actually, I'm not kidding, you could fly to a desert island, do self-work and completion for 2 weeks, come back and the problem would be solved without you saying one word to the other person. I guarantee it.
And always keep in mind too, unconditional love. Too many times I see in relationships, well, if you make me breakfast and if you, clean, or if you do the dishes, then I'll love you. But if you're always, a slob and this and that, I don't love you, or I'm mad at you, or all this stuff. It's like, is that conditional love? Yeah. The whole point is unconditional love. So, when you see, okay, you don't like something about somebody, then it's like, okay, just be open and honest and in the sweetest, most loving way. Or maybe sometimes you gotta be a little ferocious, but but with the right context of the fact that, hey, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
So being direct about it also is good.
Yeah, I would say if we see we're always kind of unsettled or unhappy with the other person in a relationship, say we always feel like people are falling short for us. I actually had this pattern a lot. I always felt like I thought somebody was something and then they always let me down. That was always some disappointment level.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I was so utterly convinced that it was something they were they're so uncompassionate, they're so not emotional, they don't understand me because I'm such an emotional person. Whatever the thing was, that was a big thing for me.
You just start thinking, oh, that person doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah, you start getting these insecurities.
Yeah.
But I realized actually that where the space that was coming from, of that actually judging the other person for all these qualities they did or didn't have or were or weren't showing me, and how I was receiving that love, was because the way I perceive and judge myself is that I was so extremely hard on myself, such a perfectionist, that whatever, every single quality I hated in myself, I had so much guilt and hatred towards, I was totally reflecting that in everybody. Regardless, and I want to come back to this too, is regardless of if what they did is right or wrong, we're actually totally stepping aside from that because it's irrelevant. We're not even analyzing if somebody cheated on you, if it's right or wrong. It actually doesn't matter. We're trying to tell you why, is that because you are the only one that changes your space, and that you are the only one that perceives your reality.
You're not the victim, so just keep that in mind, that you can take charge and step up, take responsibility for what's happening to you, and make the appropriate actions to create your own reality exactly as you want it.
Yeah.
Don't fall as a victim, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like, obviously we've gone over like a variety of topics in a short amount of time. Yeah, go.
So check out our next video.
And we will actually teach you how to make progress on this, how to not keep repeating the same patterns in your relationships. So tune into our next video in our relationship series. We'll be starting with each other actually on our channel. So thank you guys so much. It's been great talking with you. We'll get back to you soon. Nithyananda.